do a quick video here on adding a clock feature to these Ford. This is a 2008 series here, Ford radios here. This one here was said to come from a 08 Ford F-150, which has the 6 CD changer in it, which had a clock feature on the display. And this one here originally, same series, actually did not have a clock until we added the clock feature. What we done here, I'll show you here. We read the EEPROM that is located near the CD connector on the main board, changed the lines here. There's very few lines of code here that needed to be changed. Anything highlighted here, just starting here on line 30 here, and this is the address here in hex. So starting here on line 30, if you will copy this line, replace the line in your code with this code here, do the same for line 40, and do the same for line 70. B0, do the same for it. D0, copy that line. 100, do the same for it. And line 140, the last line. So if you will copy everything highlighted here and replace it and put it in the exact same spots, you should have the clock feature. Looking for the clock feature on the display. These radios here this would only work, I'm assuming, on the two particular units here that are alike. Let's look at the options. If yours has a main of this version here, it's 2 and then the 05 and the 05, and the CDSP is 090700, the CD is 030206, DSP was 06080B. I'm assuming that if your versions equal this in your diagnostics, then you should be okay to put that code in there. It should give you a clock. Here is the both radios are 2008. Here is the configurations in the radio before the clock change. Configuration 1 was 10. Configuration 2 showed to be a 64. Configuration 3 was 144. Configuration 4 was 122. Configuration 5 was 96. And configuration 6 was 0. When I was finished with the upgrade, I now have the same that is in the one from the donor radio, which was the 08 Ford F-150, which I made a copy of. Allowed it to be configuration 1 become an 8, configuration 2 was 64, which stayed the same, configuration 3 was 80, configuration 4 was 103, configuration 5 was 88, and configuration 6 stayed the same at 0. And this, when I was done, gave me a clock function. The one that did not have the clock not sure what it was from, an 08 vehicle, but not for sure what vehicle it was from a junkyard. This 08 F-150 someone had hit in a Mustang and brought it in for service, and I got to noticing, well, they have the same main and the same CD units, so that yielded me a good test figure to go ahead and say, I wonder if they're close enough, if the software is the same, and they were. This one here mounts in, the top cover is held on by a Torx, and the bottom cover is held on by a Torx. There's a few other different styles out there that it's possible that they won't interchange or won't be compatible, so you will have to do your research on this and verify that you do have the same revision numbers here in diagnostics, and you should be good to go on just changing these highlighted codes here. And some of this I do believe is probably not the clock features, and I didn't have the means to pick through it and try to figure out if some of it was. I'm kind of thinking that some of this is some of the diagnostic data itself, and there may be a few other features that I'm not aware of as well, but I do know this little bit of code that's highlighted was the only difference when I compared the two EPROMs versus the clock and the no clock. So I did make sure that all the memory presets were the same before I read the EPROMs in both units, because the memory presets are stored somewhere in the code as well. The satellite options, those memories are preset in the satellite receiver box itself and not the actual stereo for this particular model. So they're not in the EPROM, but the diagnostic codes are in there. The all the options are here in the EPROM. This particular clock option, I do know that if you change everything in the highlighted with this series and with these version numbers, that looks to give you an exact copy of these options, which is now transferred over to this stereo. They're both 2008s, and they're both the same motherboards. They both have the same revisions, and it yielded me the clock function. Hope this helps shed some light on the subject. Do your research. Make sure the model numbers are the same and so forth. Like I say, you may have to get a donor if this don't work. Do save your originals so you can go back to your original configurations. Can't stress that enough. Save your original EPROM. That way, if there's any doubt or any incompatibility, you do have that data to possibly fall back on. But anyhow, you're at your own risk on this deal, because this is just from what little research I have found out. Just hoping this will help somebody out there who is desperately wanting that clock function and can't get a program from the dealer, or the dealer doesn't seem to understand what you're talking about and any way to do it. But anyhow, that will get you the clock.